what, like, how many degrees do you go up and down, like, during the day and during the night? Is it like a 1 degree, or is it like 2 degrees? It's probably not much more than that, because as far as I remember from high school biology, or science 10, I should say, as far as I remember, that body temperature is pretty much constant, whether you're sleeping or not. Okay, with the first sleep in the new zone. Okay, sure. There may be differences in the shift of maxima and minima, leading to distortions of the oscillation. Ooh. Okay, differences in the shift of maxima and minima. I guess maxima and minima are the height of the sine wave and the bottom of the sine wave. So, sine wave. I'm thinking of sine wave now. Further than... Okay, where were we? The shift of maxima and minima leading to distortions of the oscillation. Okay, now I'm definitely thinking of a sine wave graph and how it, like, it would go like that and like that. I guess the maxima and minima wouldn't necessarily go up and down, because they'd stay roughly with your sleep pattern, I assume. Okay. After westward flight, the maximum may shift earlier or further than the minimum, whereas the opposite may be true after eastward flights. The maximum may shift earlier or further than the minimum, whereas the opposite may be true after eastward flights. Honestly, I don't know what they mean by maximum. I guess I need a biology background or something to understand this completely. Whereas the opposite may be true after eastward flights. So I guess your sine wave, you got one sine wave here, and then say a control sine wave here, and you have on the top, that's you, and on the bottom that's your new environment, and you begin by being like a little out of sync, and then on your first sleep you get a little closer and a little closer, but not the whole sine wave doesn't exactly move all at this like same time. I guess like your maximum would move a little and then your minimum would catch up, or something like that. I can only assume that they've done all these tests and things to prove this. So sure, yeah, okay, I'm understanding basically. I don't really care. After westward flight, the maximum may shift earlier or further than the minimum, whereas the opposite may be true after eastward flights. So the minimum shifts further. Although phase shifting is a consequence of the dysynchrony between environmental and biological rhythms, the other changes may be more related to the general stress of the flight. Fair enough. You always got to throw that into scientific articles. You got to kind of explain the uncontrollable variables which could be present, I guess, which kind of makes this kind of like less useful to me, not only because I don't fly too often. I mean, I do sometimes. I've done before, and I do intend on planning on flying more in the future, but this doesn't really, so far there's no real kind of advice that they can give me. I mean, you know, you just gotta deal with it as far as I'm concerned about jet lag so far. General stress of the flight. In man, meaning humankind, man and woman, social cues and timing of meals are important to the speed of re-entrainment. Indeed, adopting local times for meals accelerates the phase shift. Nevertheless, individuals differ in the ease and the speed of their adaptation. Circadian rhythms may synchronize at different speeds, and this is true for psychological as well as physiological functions, although it is not clear how the dissociation arises. As far as performance is concerned, it would appear that task complexity is important, and a high memory load adapts faster than a simple task. Okay, yeah, memory can be affected by changes in circadian rhythm. I know that when I'm tired, I have a hard time remembering and concentrating. That's true. A cross-country flight I don't find so bad, but I guess I've never experienced transmeridian flight. Oh, I don't know what that is, actually. Now that I look back to the beginning of the second paragraph, I never really thought of what that was. I just assumed it was a long flight, but it might actually refer to flights of over, say, 12 hours of difference, which I've never personally experienced, so I can't really say anything about that. Like from personal experience, like it doesn't register with me. This is true for psychological as well as physiological functions, although it is not clear how this dissociation arises. Okay, task complexity is important, and a high memory load adapts faster than a simple task. Using performance as an indicator, resynchronization times for the westward direction vary from between 1.7 and 6.0 days, and for the eastbound direction from between 2.9 and 11.3 days. I assume that's because generally the morning is treated as the time that you would work, and the evening would be the time for leisure and such, where your performance is, it's not as important if you can remember things while you're, you know, out having a coffee after work or whatever, or having a beer or whatever you might be doing. And eastbound direction from between 2.9 and 11.3 days. So when you're traveling west, you actually get to sleep in. So that's nice. But if you're traveling east, you got to get up earlier. You got to shift all of your activities to what would normally be earlier in the day. But then if we're talking about 12-hour differences, that's almost like a complete flip. So I guess this whole time I have been kind of only putting it in context of what I think of a flight, because that's my experience, and I've never experienced the 12-hour difference, or I don't even know how many a transmeridian flight is. I'll have to look it up in a dictionary or Wikipedia maybe. Who knows? In some subjects, eastbound travel may require even longer times for complete readjustment. Is that what I said earlier? Yeah, I think I did. I said traveling east would be harder because you have to get up earlier. Yeah. I guess I'm done. That wasn't too hard.